to what is another rather cold day at the unit. And as you've seen by the title, today we're going to be working on the 300ZX. As we'll be able to work out that we are attempting to pull the engine out of this today. Don't know how well it's going to go. Not got an engine crane, so we're going to have to use the ramp to somehow pull the engine out of the car. And the engine is really rammed in there. Well, people say it's one of the hardest Jap engine bays to work on because, as you can see, everything is very crammed inside here. So it's going to be a mission to actually get it out the car. Started just by taking a few little easy bits off, just like the bumper and the intake cover. So we've now got a bare front end to the car. But I have no idea where to start with this thing. So I see a lot of people starting out by basically removing your little cover on top and taking off the cruise control and the throttle cables. We are actually going to remove this throttle cable and the cruise control cable is by pushing down on this flap here. Should slide out like so. Of course, it's the exact same procedure with the cruise control cable, apart from it just wants to be a bit snappier. Next step, all you need is a trusty 14mm spanner and just basically flick that round. Should pop out like so. And the same for the cruise control. The next part that we're going to be taking off is this balance tube here, which is, by the looks of it, a 12mm. So before taking this any further, I've decided I'm going to have the bonnet off because it's going to give us a lot more space to work, and it means I can actually get in and down behind the back of the engine. So of course there are plenty of vacuum lines attaching to this bit, so of course we just have to go round. Ooh, we're going to need a new line there if that focuses. It's splaying a little bit when I pull it apart, but basically just going to have to take all the lines off this and then pull it. So now with that balance off, the next step is going to be removing the fuel rail. So that's just a case of 1, 2, couple more over there, disconnect it from the actual main rail there, and it should all just come out as one, and we'll be able to tuck it to the side. So even though this car hasn't ran since 2007, there was still a bit of fuel in there that was holding a bit of pressure, and on my days does it smell of varnish. It's just been in there that long and deteriorated that much that fuel could never be used again. So all that is left to do for this side, well, the fuel side of things, is just basically take this 10mm out, which we are getting to. How long is it? We've got another vacuum line. So now with all those bolts undone and tipping fuel absolutely all over the engine, something just snapped. No idea what. So now with the fuel rail off over here, the next stage is getting the intake and intercooler piping off, which is going to be interesting because it's very old and crusty and not been off in many, many years. So after taking this pipe off, I've obviously can see that there's these bolts already out, which I have not taken out. And there seems to be something missing here, like a module of some kind. So if anyone knows what that is, please let me know. So now, of course, all the intake piping is off. So the next stage is going to be just stripping off the wiring loom, off the injectors, off the whole front of the engine here, and just flipping it over so we can actually get easy access to the engine. So all the wiring loom is off the engine now. It's all the way, well, I say all. There's still some bits we're going to have to take off when we start lifting the engine. But for now, up top, that's us done. I've taken it a step further, jacked it up, just put it on these for now. Only on one side, purely to get to the butterfly clip on the radiator drain. It's dripping a little bit there because I've only just put that coolant tray there. But I shall release it a bit more and we shall get some coolant out of this thing. So whilst that is draining down there, we are going to have a go at getting this radiator shroud out. Just looks to be a couple 10 mils either side and some more down the bottom. Now, with stripping the engine to this point, I thought I might as well chuck a bar on the crank and see if we can turn it. And unfortunately, this build just got a lot more expensive because there is no way that crank is moving. So we've got something to work out. It is, in fact, a week later. The car's now on the ramp. Basically, last week it got a little bit frustrating after we found out the engine was seized, so I just knocked it on the head, and I've not really had time to touch it since. So we've got it on the ramp today, and hopefully we can get the engine out. The stage is going to be to remove this fan because realistically, don't really want that on there. It's going to give us a good 6 inches of clearance to actually get the engine out, so let's have that off. What we're actually on to next is now slackening the engine mount. Well, not just slackening, taking the bolts off so that we can get the engine out of this. Have a little look, you can see that there, that's one motor mount slacked off. I'm turning American. That's one engine mount slacked off. And where's the other one? Just there by the tip of my finger. That little thing right there. So whilst we're in here, we are going to slack our oil cooler hoses off, just because we need to get the engine out. Your oil cooler lines are still dripping. What you can do is you can get a bolt that is about the same size and just push it in the end, like so, on each one. And that just basically stops the oil from dripping. Pretty self-explanatory. Actually recommended when pulling these engines out is remove the first 2 coil packs from both sides. Because when you loop your strap around to pull the engine out, it means you can actually loop it under here, which perfectly balances the engine. So if you couldn't tell, we're about to go for one of the sketchiest engine removals ever. So if I die, bye-bye. It's because he's got a trade for it. I'm saying you want to pull. Now it's cold. Right. Right. Oh, that doesn't sound very good. No, the ramp's it's full. Oh, is it? Yeah. So we're going to have to pull it. Yeah. Oh. You just need to make sure it clears. I need to make sure.
Everything is off?
I'm pretty sure.
It's this one lead I'm worried about.
Which one?
Because I can see it, and it's running up across here.
Where's this going?
Right into the bottom.
Do I just chop that lead and solder it in?
Well, where is it?
Needs a torch. I've got one here.
Right. This is going to be... Oh, I really don't know about that. You might be lucky. Yeah, you're clear.